In this set, I'm concentrating on a hand embroidered look, and I want to show you a way you can achieve, I was going to say old fashioned, but it's not old fashioned. You can achieve the look of a hand embroidered design by using your motifs and your stamps. Okay, and I'm starting off with a spiky flower, and I'm starting with this one. And the first thing I need to do is go to my run stitch, go straight into object details, line stitch, and increase the length of that to 6 mils. Okay, and we'll take this one. That's better. Not much, but it is better. I start at the top. Oh, I do hate it when my hands won't operate the way I want them to. Now, in hand embroidery, you simply go to the back and you tie off. We haven't got that in machine embroidery. We have a form of it, but okay, I select that, object details, dimensions, and it tells me it's 12 wide, 12.78 wide by 12.72 tall. I'm going to make that 13, and I'll make that one 13 as well. Okay, right. I go to embroidery, I go to make motif, new, hand, handy. Okay, I call this spiky or spike 1. Okay, I put my trace point here, I put my trace point here. Spike 1 has been created. Thank you. Now I'm going to start a new page. I'm coming back to this page in a minute. I'm going to go to motif front line, line stitch, motif, select, and then inside of here, hand E, spike. Okay. Oh, okay. There's my spike, and tell that okay. And I've got a row of little spiky flowers. Now, I know what length they are, so if I wanted, I could just do one single one, and from that I could run I'm going to choose a color. I can go to stamp gallery, and I can say to it, no, I don't want one of your stamps. I want my hand E. I want spike. Yes. And I want 1, 2, 3, and maybe 1 in the middle. Then hit my escape key to get rid of my flower. So I've got a little bunch of flowers I can use as a motif front line, as a single one as a stamp, and one I've used as a motif front line, but because I know it's 13 millimeters wide, then I made my line as close to 13 millimeters as I could. Okay, that's one. So now we come back over to here, design 1. And I click off that, and I go and pick up my plain line stitch. And I come down to the bottom. I start here. I come up to there, across, back, and I enter that. I highlight that, and I give it a colour. Doesn't really matter what colour, but generally you sort of go for a greeny colour. And I'm going to go to Object Dimensions, and it tells me it's 7 millimeters wide, and it's nearly 8 millimeters wide, and it's 4.37 tall. So I want to go to line stitch. Stitch length is 6. That's fine still. Come out of that and into embroidery, make motif, hand embroidery, and I call this one, I don't know what you call that, so we'll give it a name like arrow. Okay, I come out of that, and this time I'm going to take my trace line, 1, 2. Arrow has been created. Thank you. You notice I took the trace line from the bottom to the top. So now I'm going to go to Window, Design 2. I come over here. Come on, open up. Go to my motif front line. I go to my object details because I like to choose my motifs before I actually begin. Select arrow. Okay. There it is. Okay. And there's my arrow running up that way. Now if I want it to run the other way, I come down. Because this program works the opposite way around. This one works from right to left, and I've made it go from left to right, which reverses the direction these run in. So we've now got a spiky flower and a spiky spray. Okay, let's go back into the other window, design 1, and look at this one, which is not quite the same. It looks the same, but it isn't. But I want one that's going in a direction that I can actually steal. Here we go. And I go and pick up my run line. And I'm going to steal this one. 1. Oh. 1. Back. Back. Out. Back. Enter that to change its colour. We'll make that one bright green. I'm not going to go and check on what size it is. I don't want it too big and I don't want it too small. Embroidery, make motif, and call this one spike 2 or arrow 2. Arrow 2. Okay, and again put my trace line from the bottom of that stitch up to the dotted line. Arrow 2 has been created. Okay, so let's go into Window, Design 2. I've picked up my motif front line, I go straight to my object details, I go to line stitch, and I want arrow 2. And there's my arrow 2. Now, I need to shorten the spacing. So I come down onto here, and I tell that 0. I click on this one. It's not shortened it enough. That's got to fit into there. Okay, so I make that 3.5. And let's take a look at that when we use it. There you go. Now you've got a fine version of that one. And if we want to run it the other way, we'll get it now upside down. So far now we've got 3 run motifs which can be used as run lines. Hang on, motif fills. Right, let's get a new screen. Select, come out of there, go into my hand embroidery stitches and tell it I want arrows. Okay, and layout. That's how it will look. Now here's my layout block, and I can blow this up for you. You weren't supposed to have moved, but never mind. Onto there. Right. Tell that. That's what I want. Now I've brought them into line, so they're not so obviously off kilter. But suppose I don't want that one. And I want a different motif. Arrow, spiky one, layout. And I actually want to offset these. So they're more like that. And I tell that one OK. Now they're all offset. And to tell it OK, I simply hit enter. And that's my spiky flower motif fill. Right, I'm going to close this window now because we don't really need it. It was just to demonstrate you could use them. Okay, now in the next video we'll make some more little motifs that we can use, because I'm going to be showing you a design in a moment where I hope to use some of the motifs that we're making for our hand embroidery look for when we actually do one of the vintage embroidery designs. So I'll see you all in a minute.